Hi, everyone. Hi, Kate. How are you doing today?
I'm great. How are you, Krystle?
I'm fantastic. Thank you for joining me today. Welcome to Soul Trio. For now, we're a duo, but Melissa will join us sometime next week. And we are here today to talk about losing something, but at the same time, learning. So I would like to quote first John Maxwell when he said, "Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. The message is hope to win, expect to lose, and live with the results either way." What's wrong with that? Well, it's not how winners think. Successful people approach losing differently. They don't try to brush failure under the rug. They don't run away from their losses. Their attitude is never, sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. Instead, they think, sometimes you win, sometimes you learn. They understand that life's greatest lessons are gained from our losses if we approach things the right way. Don't you just love that, Kate?
That's such a powerful paragraph from him. And I keep hearing a recurring theme as we have these little trios going on that, yet again, it comes back to attitude. Having the right attitude, no matter what happens to you in life, it's your attitude that's going to determine how you move forward. And so I keep hearing that theme again and again.
Yes, it's having the positive attitude, just like Bob teaches us. It's how you accept or how you view things with a positive attitude that makes a lot of difference because things are will just happen, life will just happen, and if we have this positive attitude, then things will come out the way we want them to be. We will have the results that we want, isn't it?
Yeah, and I think it's important to note that, first of all, nobody has a perfect life, right? Everybody has the ups and downs in life. But to have over the course of time, a more positive life, it's very incumbent on you that when you see things as a loss, that they may not actually be a loss. That might be a learning opportunity, and maybe it was done on purpose to set you up for something bigger and better that you weren't even asking for. So it's important to take that time, step back and get that perspective that what you may perceive as a loss at the moment, turn it around, look at it. What do I have to learn from this that can set me better for the future?
That's true. I remember when I had cancer. 7 years ago, I was diagnosed with cancer, and my little one was 1 year old. Noah was 1 year old. And at that time, I was like, God, why me? And I wouldn't be empathetic as I am now with cancer patients or with people who are going through difficult or different sicknesses. If I hadn't undergone that situation, if I didn't feel loved by my family, if I didn't feel supported by my friends and my husband, and that really makes a lot of difference. When you go through something, it it grows you. You grow from it. It instead of you learn so much from it, and that's what John Maxwell says. You don't lose. You learn from things. If you don't win, you learn
Yeah.
automatically. You
And
don't.
I think that's what we're built to continue to expand. We're supposed to expand in our learning and in our spiritual experience. So it's natural to want to look for the good in what happens, even in bad situations, even with your cancer. When you look for the good, it makes you appreciate life more. It makes you appreciate your family more.
Yeah.
So again, we come back to that attitude. when you think you might have lost something, or you take that poor me, that victim mentality, you're not growing, you're stagnant. And sometimes you're actually not, you're going backwards in your growth. To take the attitude of what good can come out of this, put you in a positive mindset and set you up better and bigger for what's to come in your life.
Indeed. We are always, every one of us are set for better and bigger. And we just need to use those losses as stepping stones, as learning curve for the things that are coming our way, for the greatness that we will experience, isn't it?
Yes. And I also wonder too, sometimes I think when we get a curveball thrown at us, I think we never kind of see the other side, that, well, maybe that curveball just protected me from even more danger, something that was maybe going to be even more traumatic. So if you always kind of take that step back and take the perspective of, where can I go from here? Because you don't want to go backwards. So let's take where we are and use it. Look at your goal, find out where you want to go, and start stepping towards it in the best positive light. Life is a lot more fun when you try to look at it positively, even in sometimes bad situations. To take that positive attitude and keep moving forward is a much more pleasant and fulfilling pathway of life.
Indeed. If you're not growing, you're disintegrating, isn't it?
Right.
And yeah, everybody grows. One step forward is growing. Baby steps are growing. So if you have a goal, for example, like what Melissa and I talked about the other day, when you don't stop, it means you're growing. It means you're moving forward.
That brings us back to what we were talking about before, is also learning to listen to your body, listening to your inner voice, to know the difference between when you're being lazy and when you're just plain overwhelmed and you need to take a step back and reset. So it's funny how that all kind of comes together. Make sure that as you look at your goal, how are you feeling? Are you feeling overwhelmed? Are you being lazy? You know, your voice, your inner voice, your intuition will tell you what you need to do to stay on that path.
Yes, especially right now, a lot of us feel guilty when we pause and take a break and relax, because the world is moving so fast and we just have to do 10 things at the same time. But our body is not made for that. So we need to do one thing at a time properly, with with the best that we can, and listen to the intuition. Like you mentioned before, we listen to our own intuition, we listen to ourselves, we listen to our bodies. What is it that you need? Because our bodies know us very well.
Yes, and you will never be guided in the wrong direction. And I think that's probably the most important part of that. If you just slow down a little bit to be able to hear that inner voice, you will never be guided in the wrong direction.
Yes. And I remember when you mentioned how we react and we respond to things makes a lot of difference, isn't it? Can you try to elaborate that once again?
Yeah, so everybody knows that humans are basically, I would almost go as high as 98% routine. We do everything in a routine. So when you have something happen, whether it's pleasant or unpleasant, you tend to react to it, which means it's just an automatic response. You've done it 1,000 times before, versus learning how to slow down and respond to circumstances. And that's where you're actually, something happens, whether it's good or bad, and you slow down enough to actually think about it, rationalize about it, and respond to it. You choose the reaction, the behavior that you're going to have to those circumstances. And that really takes us out of that automatic response. If you want to craft your life, if you want to go in a certain direction, it is much better to take that second to think it through and respond the way you want to, instead of just automatically reacting.
Yes, I love that you choose to respond. It's not automatically react. I love that, Kate. Thank you very much for your time. I hope our viewers learned something from us. So it's always remember, sometimes you win.
Sometimes you learn.
Have a good day.
Excellent. See ya.
Bye.